I had a friend named Steve, and he was he was outdoors, you know. And growing up, the way my family was, we were like my household for about as long as I can remember from when I was a kid was the Locksmith home for wayward boys. You know, my friends always stayed the night. If you needed a place to go for a while, if you needed a safe, fun, happy place where there was always food, you came to our house because that's just what I grew up with. That's how my parents thought. It wasn't anything amazing, at least not to us, but we cared. We really did care about people, and we cared about our friends and the people we loved. So with that in mind, I had a friend named Steve who was outdoors for a while, and he was supposed to stay a while. Not a short while, but not a long while either. And he was just supposed to stay until he got his shit straight, and then he could go on, live his life, do his thing. So there were a few issues though. There's this daily ritual that most people engage in, where it involves going into this chamber, and like water comes down or it fills up, and there's like soap involved. You familiar with this practice? Well, he would never engage in this practice. Ever. We had to hose the couch down with Febreze after he left. And if you ever come to my house, if there's food, on the off chance there's food, you're welcome to it. You know, because that's what it's there for. It's there to be eaten. And we're completely cool. Well, my brother doesn't live with me anymore, but I'm really cool with people just, hey, grab some chips, grab a frozen entree, grab some ramen noodles. Ramen noodles were a special because now this guy normally ate like a maggot. But what he would do is he would inhale ramen noodles like 2 bricks at a time every 3 or 4 hours. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Are you serious? And this guy, okay, we gave him a job. We gave him a job as easily as I can give anyone here a nickel. When we were on the job site, it was a construction job, and he still wasn't showering, bear in mind. So when we'd be on the job site, and I would tell him, I've been doing the job for 2 years. My family's company had given him, or we got a contract with the gas company, and we were doing all their gas lines. It was pretty cool, and I get to say that I laid pipe for a living. So we would be on the job site, and he wouldn't listen to me. Like, I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, like he did. And there was one time when, I go to UNF. Still, it's been like 12 years. And I had if you go to UNF, if you call up the office closes at 4:30. No exceptions. So if you're on the phone, 4:30 rolls around, click. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, and you're fucked. You have to wait an extra day. So I said, dude, we have to leave around 2:30. And he's like, well, why? And I'm like, well, I have to call up UNF. They're really strict on their hours. And he's like, well, why can't I didn't have a vehicle at the time. He's like, well, why can't I just, drive you home, drop you off, and come back? I'm like, I'm your supervisor. I have to be here. I can't just leave you alone because what if something happens or, well, and so finally he gave me so much shit. I'm just like, okay, fine. You know what? We'll leave at 3 instead of 2:30. I mean, I was still able to get on the phone with UNF, but still, it's the principle of the matter. And he didn't get along well with my family. There was one. See, the thing is, the money that he made, he would spend not on finding a new place. He would spend it on food, concert admission, and gas for his truck. So we were, there was one time when he was like really low on gas, and he could have said to my father, Mr. Neal, listen, I'm really low on gas. Look, is there any way you could just forward me some of my next paycheck, and you could take it out. You could take it out of my next paycheck. If you do that in just a little bit, I would really appreciate it. It'd be really cool. I mean, you don't have to, but I would really appreciate it if you did. He could have said that. Instead, he said to my father, "Hey, Bob, can I have some gas cash?" Two witnesses have confirmed that. I come from a very polite family. You know, we were never brought up with yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, but it wasn't really what we were supposed to do, but it was always, please, thank you, I appreciate this. You know, how are you? Thank you, Mr. Neal. Shit like that. And, like, he and my little sister argued because she was an argumentative bitch even when she was just like this tall. And he stole one of my brother's beers. Men have been killed for less in my house. Okay, so there was one time my brother had a bunch of his boys over. And it was like the one time Steve wanted to go to sleep at a decent hour, because this is the kind of guy where when it came to working with him, I'd go to sleep at around like 11 and tell him before I'm going to sleep, all right, we're on the job site at 9 a.m. Okay, it was 9 a.m. So he'd be up till like 2, 3, and then I would like wake up. I wake up, get out of my room, rouse Steve, say, "Hey, dude, we gotta go to work soon." He would look at me, acknowledge me, and then roll back over. Okay, whatever. So then I'd go to the kitchen and have my nut and honey, because that is an amazing breakfast cereal. And then I'd come out, he'd still be asleep. I'd be like, "What the fuck, man?" And he'd be like, "Well, that's not how you're supposed to wake me up." I'm not your fucking mother. Don't tell me how to wake you up. Hell, he was lucky I didn't wake him up with a trash can full of ice and water. I'm serious. So. Oh, and just real quick side note, talk about him keeping bad hours. He would also give, I said the house number. If people need to call you, they can call you on the house line at nominal time. Apparently, there's a difference in some people's views on a nominal hour. I said, if people need to call you, they can call. Okay? Because people sleep in my house. So there was one time, it was around like 1 in the morning, and I was laying in bed, because I don't sleep. I'm too angry and hyped up to sleep. And phone rings. And in one smooth motion, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style, I sat up, flew off of my bed, over the laundry basket. I racked on the hamper, fell off, and grabbed the phone. "Hello?" Because you're calling my house at that hour, somebody would be bleeding or dying. I'm like, "Hello?" "Yeah, he's here. Hang on." "Steve was one of your little girly underage friends. You motherfucker." Which really pissed me off. But anyway, my brother's beer. There's the one time he wanted to go to bed at a decent hour, and I'm just like, "No, dude, that's the fucking couch, dude. You're ornamental here right now." And like my brother and his friends, they were doing like chugging contests with beer. And like our friend Matt, it's amazing because when he would chugging beer for him violated all known laws of physics. Because like he would because it would be gone by the time it's out, like a miniature black hole opened up or something, like a wormhole straight boot to stomach. I don't know. And so the guys were competing to get it to second essentially. And Steve's like, "Well, man, I could beat him," and we're like, "No, you can't. No. And it's like, "Yeah, I can." And so my brother's like, all right, fine. We'll give you a beer, and you can see if you beat Matt." He stands up, walks over to the refrigerator, this beer refrigerator we had. He got a beer, came back and sat down. My brother's like, What did you just do?" And he's like, "Well, I got a beer." And my brother said, "No, we said we'd give you a beer." My brother was ready to kick this guy's ass in the next Tuesday. That's how pissed he was. So Matt schools him, and then we see him later with another beer. And my brother's like, "Dude, this has gone on too fucking long." And I'm like, "You're right." And so I told him, "Look, I said, this just isn't working out, man. I said, you're my friend and everything, but it's not working out. I said, tell you what, you have until we get back from Pennsylvania visiting family. You have until we get back to find a new place to live. And he tried to guilt trip me about it, but I'm like, no, dude, we opened our home to you. Okay? This is our sanctuary. This is where we live. You know, and you were a guest, and we don't appreciate how you just really just shat on us the whole time. So then, a few days later, he left, just loaded up his truck and headed out. And, I saw him, like, sometime afterward. He's all guilt-tripping me, like, oh, what the heck, man? Now I have to live in my truck. And I'm like, dude, you made your bed. You have to lie in it. That's your doing, not mine. So then, interesting postscript. When he first moved in, I said, dude, is there any place you can go? Is there any place you can go? And I'm like, how about your mom's? And he's like, no, man, I can't go to mom's. Guess where he went after he moved out of my place? Yeah, he moved out back to his mom's. That's what pissed me off.